Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. It started with the kind of ordinary life people would scroll past if it showed up in a feed. My dad had remarried a few years ago, and she became the quiet center of our home. She wasn't the type to demand attention, but she carried herself with an ease that made the house feel warmer. I noticed things I shouldn't have, like the way she smiled when she set a plate down, or how her laughter filled a room in a way my father's presence never did. He was usually out late with work, and that left me and her alone more often than either of us admitted mattered. At first, I brushed off the awareness, told myself it was harmless, just me noticing someone who happened to be around. But the more I tried to ignore it, the sharper those moments became. A look that lasted a little longer than necessary. A casual touch on my shoulder that lingered. It built inside me in a quiet, uncomfortable way, like a secret I wasn't supposed to be keeping. There was guilt, but alongside it, a curiosity that refused to die. Somewhere in that mix, the boundaries of family blurred, and I knew I was already in dangerous territory. The shift didn't happen in one dramatic moment. It crept in quietly, like a thought you don't want but can't silence. What had been harmless contact started to feel charged. She'd laugh at something I said and let her hand rest on my arm, and instead of pulling away, I felt my chest tighten. Sitting near her on the couch became an exercise in self-control, because every brush of her knee against mine made me aware of what I shouldn't be thinking. She noticed, too. I could tell in the way her eyes lingered, how her smile carried a trace of something unspoken. It wasn't outright, it was subtle enough to deny if questioned, yet heavy enough that we both understood. The guilt grew sharper, but so did the pull. I told myself it was just a crush, a passing distraction, yet I kept replaying small moments in my head. When she'd compliment me, when she'd lean in a little too close, when silence between us felt thick enough to choke on. It wasn't family anymore. It was two people standing too close to a line neither of us should cross. That awareness became a secret all on its own, one we silently shared. Nights became the hardest to ignore. When the house grew quiet and my dad wasn't around, the air between us changed. Conversations stretched longer than they needed to, filled with pauses that carried more weight than words. I'd catch her eyes lingering on me, and instead of looking away, I held her gaze. That unspoken acknowledgement opened a door neither of us had the courage to shut. The touches weren't accidents anymore. A brush of her fingers across my hand, a slight lean toward me that erased space, the kind of gestures that told the truth without saying anything out loud. I knew I should pull back, but each time I didn't. It only pulled us further into something we couldn't explain. There was a thrill in the secrecy, the danger of what we were risking, and the way it felt like we were building a world that belonged only to us. Every stolen second carried both excitement and dread, but the excitement always won. She became more than just my stepmom. She was the person I thought about before sleep and the first thought when I woke up. What we shared was wrong, but in those moments, it felt inevitable. Eventually, the weight of what we were doing started to press down harder than either of us could carry. The secrecy that once felt thrilling began to feel suffocating. Every glance at my father chipped at me. Every small lie carved deeper into my conscience. She felt it too. Her laughter grew quieter, her touches more hesitant, and the silences between us became heavier than before. One night she told me we couldn't keep going. There wasn't anger in her voice, just a sadness that cut deeper than any argument could. I wanted to argue, to tell her that what we shared mattered, but even I knew the truth. What we had existed in shadows, and shadows can't last under light. Pulling away didn't erase the feelings. If anything, it made them sharper, like a scar you keep pressing on. She went back to playing her role, and I followed, but beneath every polite smile and casual word lingered a memory we couldn't undo. I learned quickly that forbidden connections don't fade. They stay hidden, shaping you quietly. It ended, at least in action, but the mark it left was permanent. Some secrets don't disappear. They live inside